All right, we are live. Whew. Just get my bearings here.
Yeah.
Whew.
Guys, it's that's a heartbreaker. That is something you never want to see at the end of the match. But yep, that's what happens when you switch off. And yep, you think you have the game won, and it's literally the last kick.
Yeah.
That's so tough.
Whew.
But we'll be here to dissect it all and lament with you guys for the lost 2 points. But I mean,
At least
yeah,
the homeboy, the tank, scored again. Yako.
Exactly.
Man, but
4th goal and 4 starts. Yeah.
that may come to an end.
Yep.
So
There's an injury there. We'll get to that as well.
God,
But,
that physically hurt me. That physically hurt me worse than them scoring at the end. That was like, no, not again, not like this.
Yep. Yeah, it's that Matrix meme, right?
Yeah.
Not like this.
Yeah.
Not like this. But Machop Chol, he gets his first MLS goal. Rats to the homegrown. I mean, he rose high. He finished very well.
Yeah.
It's odd. It's odd that we're really good at scoring headers.
We got all of a sudden we became a much taller team.
Yeah. Right. I mean, we have some giants, to be fair. I mean, Machop Chol, Yakumakis as a striker is pretty big. Juanjo Porata, of course. Yes, exactly.
Air Force One.
Is a beast in the air. Although he hasn't scored one this year. I think, I think other teams have figured out maybe a way anyway. At home, I think he still probably could, be a force. But
yeah, I think Miles can score a header.
Oh, yeah. It's it's a game that, we are interested in hearing all your thoughts in the chat. But before we do all that, before we get to Michael eating some of the least favorite food he has ever eaten in his life, we must ask you to like, share, and comment and subscribe. It really does help us sustain. And the more you share, the more we can get us out there. And
if you know anyone who has a stern opinion about Atlanta United and you can't seem to get them to shut up about it, throw them in our direction. We'll put them on. We'll talk to them. They can vent, get all their energy out, so you don't have to deal with it. We're here for you.
Or if you're that person,
yes,
just hit us up. But we're open to hearing the opinions, because we definitely have some opinions after that match. But I mean, starting off, you can have Westberg in goal for Guzan. I don't think that's a surprise. I mean, I think he was the understudy, at least the first deputy. But and then you have Almada, who was injured and is day to day, but it doesn't seem too serious, just a precaution, according to Doug Roberson. So okay, that's not the worst thing, seeing how we played. But that midfield pretty much with Mateus Usetu, with Sadic, with Sosa coming in for the red-carded Ibarra. It hung along for a good bit of that first half. I mean, I think it was, some decent play. We created some decent chances, and I think Toronto's goal in the first half comes against the run of play. So, yeah, it's definitely a match that a little back and forth, and you just ultimately cannot finish the job. You can't finish the meal. I mean, you gotta finish your meal.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I was fully expecting to lose this game. I was fully expecting to, in the most optimistic sense, tie it. And
it's been a house of horrors.
Yeah. And I thought, seeing how we were playing, seeing, going into the end, the final result, what it could have been, I was like, this is way beyond my expectations. So I feel like even though we tied and it hurts, I'm like, I have to kind of bring myself back down to earth and remember my expectation for this was like 50% a loss, 50% a tie. So I'm overall pretty happy about it, regardless.
Right. It's that. It's like you don't have Almada. You pretty much expect, okay, yeah, this is gonna be less than a coin toss, pretty much at this point. And for us to be leading up until the dying seconds of the match, it's big suck. It's just, yeah, you take it coming in, but the way it plays out is not how you prefer, and it puts a damper on kind of I'd say a decent performance by the whole squad. I mean, Abram coming in for Etienne later, and I mean, we do pretty well in dealing with Bernardeschi and Lorenzo Insigne coming back.
Yeah.
Since the first match of the season, apparently, and he looks kind of sharp. I mean, he was playing a lot of 1-2s with Bernardeschi. I mean, you can see how they're going to be dangerous because those two are so talented.
They are on the same page. Absolutely.
Yeah. And they're both Italian. They're both, they're world beaters to a degree. So, I think, if you look at the end of the season and you're like, if Insigne and Bernardeschi can stay healthy for the most of the season, I think Toronto will turn the season around here. They are draw heavy. They're like the team that has drawn the most games this season. I think they have 5. So
I mean, a lot of people are down on Toronto. I don't think you need to be. I think Toronto is going to be steamrolling back, and to get points off of them early in the season is essential to climb the ladder while you can, because once Toronto gets up there, they're going to kick the ladder out from beneath them. It's going to be tough to catch them, but hopefully they will have drawn enough that they don't get too high up when they start ascending again. So, we'll have made a meal out of them early on, so that's good.
Right, because that's the thing. It's like, if you're a team that has to face them in the playoffs, like that's set up for a team like that, who have players that can create a moment of magic. Like that's the difference a lot of times. Like that's
Gareth
like
Bale,
Champions
anyone?
League ball. Yeah, exactly. Like that is Champions League ball where your stars shine and they have stars.
Yeah,
those two are scary.
These guys are constellations.
We respected. Yes, we respected the hell out of those two because whatever side of the pitch they were on, we definitely stated about 2, maybe 3 players sometimes just to mark them and just to make sure, okay, you get past that first guy, you still got that second guy. You get past that second guy, that third guy's rolling. So
yeah. All right, so we got Niall joining us today.
Niall,
welcome to the stream. How you doing?
Good to see you guys.
Looking like an old man now. Holy crap. Wow. Full beard and everything. Welcome, man. Yeah, what were your thoughts?
Oh, man. This was a chaotic game. I mean, okay, the thing is, I think the first half we played really well. We were testing, I think, TFC's defense a lot. And then I think just the second half we started to, I think, tire out a bit. And I also think that Gigi's injury, I think, kind of caused a bit of a emotional shock to the team in a sense, because it took a while to get things going again. But I thought Pineda once again did well with the subs, bringing on Chol, score his first MLS goal, and it was a nice celebration for Anton. Unfortunately, though, that the defense once again couldn't keep the clean sheet, and it just feels like it feels like a loss. But ultimately, though, at the same time, you have to take points where you can get them on the road, especially at a dangerous place like TFC.
That's a great point, man. It's definitely it's a game where You rue the result at the end, but it's something that you take. But curious what your thoughts were on Miguel Berry when he came in, and Chol coming in instead, and he scores, and he's not the striker, but obviously he does well enough. But Miguel Berry, has he done enough for you?
I think there were times where I think he did well to try to get his body to the ball, and he tried to keep his ball next to his feet. I do feel like though that I wish things would be better in terms of him being able to have chances to score. Is the thing, because I feel like he's not getting those chances, and as a striker, I think that's what you're paid the money for, right? So that's something where I think has to get more chances, and he has to be able to score on those. But I think just in a general sense, I like what he contributes to the team in terms of his work ethic and the ability for him to have his back to goal and basically all those little aspects to his game. But he can definitely improve. So.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Yorgos Yakimakis, goes down. Who knows for how long? Is it a groin? Is it a hamstring? I think they're angling that it might have been a groin, which a little less time, hopefully. But how big of a miss is this possibly going forward if we do not? Would you go with a Hope Chol up top versus a Miguel Berry in the next match?
Well, first of all, hopefully it's nothing major with Gigi. Hopefully it's just a case where he's maybe just out for a couple of weeks. If he's out for a couple months, then yeah, for sure there's going to be some issues with our attack. I think you definitely give Chol the start. I really liked what I was able to see from him today, and just the limited amount of minutes for him to just be able to score a goal as well, I thought was great. And to me, I think he could play a very key role this season coming off the bench, and potentially for games where he might not be able to play. So, but yeah, definitely Gigi's been one of our main guys. He's been on fire recently in terms of scoring goals. I mean, he just can't seem to stop scoring. So it'll definitely be hard if he is out for an extended period of time, but hoping that's not the case. So
yeah, definitely fingers crossed, hoping the best for the Greek god. He's GG all over the place with his nicknames. But so Westberg as well coming in, a little shaky at times, but overall command of the box. Even though he seems a little undersized a little bit at times. What were your thoughts on him tonight?
Was he at fault for either of those goals?
No, I will not say that he was at fault for either of those goals. I think the entire defense, to be honest, could have done better. I think basically with those goals, it's a team effort. In order to be able to not let those goals in, you have to be able to close out a match. It's not just on one individual player. For me, it's on the entire team to be able to, final minute of the match, you have to do what you can to shut down shop. But I thought he was decent. I mean, this was definitely probably a short notice for him in terms of having to come in, because Brad's injury was, of course, pretty recent. There were some moments where I thought that he made some good saves, and denied TFC from having some good scoring opportunities. And there was also times where maybe he was a bit uncomfortable with the ball at his feet. I think particularly there was one pass that Lennon made to him, and the ball was kind of outside of the box, and it led to a corner, which is a bit stressful and kind of reminded me of some of Atlutd United in the past with injuries and all. But I think for a first start, he was all right. I don't think that the goals were just solely on him.
Yeah, and with Westberg, kind of having to kind of adjust to our style of play, which definitely is probably a little bit different. Where you do want to play off from the back, but it is having to go long at times. I think that's where it is. It's him playing out of the back. He looks just a little slightly uncomfortable at times. The hospital ball, I think you were talking about, where he plays it through the middle, is heart and mouth moment where it's oh jeez, like, but yeah, it's one of those for all in all, like without Almada, like what did you think of the squad and the performance?
I think there were moments in the match where I thought that offensively we looked very fluid. We were making crisp passes. I think Sosa in particular was a guy that stood out to me particularly. He was able to find good space, make crisp passes. And honestly, for me, that might be like one of his best performances in that Atlanta United shirt for me. I get that there was some maybe controversy in terms of him could have done better with the Richie Larea goal, for that absolute rocket. But I think overall, I think he had a good match. The offense was, I think, okay. The only thing that I will think needs to be better is Luis Araujo. He has to be able to produce at a higher level.
He was doing really good at the beginning, I thought. He was trying to hit those creative visionary passes that Almada typically does. And he just... But then when Yako went down, the whole team kind of got deflated. He also got deflated and started reverting back to what he always does, which is hero ball. And then he dribbles into the other team, right into traffic, and gets depossessed, like every time.
I think the thing is, like, because it's clear that he has talent. I mean, he's shown it before. So I think the only case for me is that he just needs to be able to be confident enough to show that he has the talent, because he does. But for me, I think there are moments where I think he gets caught in between two minds about what to do. Should I shoot? Should I pass? Should I dribble back? I think he's maybe thinking at times too hard about what he needs to do, instead of, with a player like him, he should be able to make a decision pretty quickly on whether he needs to pass or shoot. But other than that, like, it was definitely a better performance without Almada compared to the 6-1 loss to Columbus, for sure, where we looked just lethargic in the attack. But yeah, I mean, we'll see how Almada's doing. Hopefully he's back for Chicago, but it definitely was not like bad offensively.
You better be back. It's my birthday.
Yeah, exactly right. But yeah, it's also that Luis Araujo, he gets credit for the the assists for Chol as well. He if anything, Luis Araujo never gives up.
Yeah.
He will give max effort throughout the entire match that he's in the game, and that's the thing. It's just like you're saying, Niall. I think it's in between the ears for him. Like, he just probably needs to settle down those kind of conflicting thoughts within his brain, because we see what he can do. I mean, like, the pace is legend. The ball striking is pretty good. Yeah. It's just
dribbled two guys tonight in a row.
Right, exactly. I mean, it's just like, the techers are there. It's just, it's that final ball sometimes. And I mean, that's the thing. When two DPs go down in this league, your third DP has to step up. He did. But is he going to be able to step up every single match when both the other ones are out? Because we potentially, we don't know. We don't know if Almada can return the next match.
Yeah. What if he gets a knock, again? So,
I mean, I hope not. I mean, we play Chicago next, and Chicago.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, and Chicago's like not doing particularly like that bad right now. I think, if I'm like not mistaken, I think they're leading against Philadelphia right now at this moment, right?
Philadelphia's putting all their eggs in the basket for CCL, I think.
I mean, I don't know what's going on with them, but I mean, it's definitely this coming home match is definitely going to be one where I think this team definitely needs to find a win, and then I think that would be much easier for us to kind of brush off this result. I mean, because to be completely honest, it wasn't the worst result. I think that a lot of people were suggesting, Atlanta United are going to lose this match. There's no there's no Brad.
Yeah.
But definitely to be able to get a win at home I think will be good to give this team some confidence again, because right now things are going pretty decently. We're third in the East, and I think that's where this team should be, around that area, and potentially maybe fighting for the top if they have everybody healthy and if they have enough momentum. So
Yeah. Solid thoughts.
Indeed. Yeah, indeed, man. It's that's the thing. It's like just how you realize how shallow your team is in MLS when a couple guys go down, and then when your whole spine goes down, that's what you saw last year. So yeah, we're hanging by a thread right now.
Yeah.
We still got Miles and Parata in the middle, but oi.
I want to know how does Seattle and LAFC do it? Like, how do they have just depth upon depth upon depth? It's insane.
Man, I mean, like, LAFC is just kind of the Man City of MLS. If I'm going to be completely honest, they just have depth everywhere, and they just seem to always win. I mean, even Seattle too, for example. I think I don't know. It's just their scouting networks are insanely good, and they just know how to pick up the right talent. And maybe time will come where Atlanta has similar depth. But right now, of course, I mean, our depth is not bad, obviously, but it's definitely not near LAFC or Seattle for sure.
Yeah, the drop off can be like to USL, like with our depth.
Yes.
But I mean, getting Lagerway in as CEO, I think is a good step in the right direction for getting something like a Seattle or LAFC kind of depth going.
I mean, I think that he's already kind of showing the effect on this team. Like, for example, being able to get Diamakis for just like a very like low amount of money as a DP striker, and to have him producing the way he is, and to me, I think he's going to be a player that hits double-digit goals pretty easily. Like 10, 15 goals for me is where I think he will be at, and that's a pretty good season. And that kind of goes to the credit of Lagerway and even the rest of the front office for being able to bring a player like that in who has like European experience and is a very hungry player.
Boca's like, we promise we will post no less than 3 social media posts about you every day if you come here.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, when you get to Jose Martinez levels, I mean, yeah, it was. Well, why wouldn't you post about him?
Yeah.
Much? So yeah, no.
I mean, they gave him
and,
the carrot on the stick was definitely like, you're going to be the hero here. You're going to be the god of the city, and if you want to step into those shoes, and he's like, absolutely. So that's what they promised. That's why it was so attractive to him.
Yeah, I mean, also get you some Greek food coupons as well. So
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I just had Greek food tonight, so yeah.
Ooh,
nice.
It's good.
It's real good.
It is.
Some lamb shank.
Mediterranean, man.
Oh, yeah.
Just mwah.
yeah.
Oh yeah. As opposed to the thing that you're about to eat on stream, or we'll see you eat on stream. It's a video from the past, but that is not chef's kiss.
I mean, some people like that stuff.
Some people.
I'm not one of those people.
Yeah, and to be fair, I'm not. That's not my favorite either. Yeah, licorice is what Nile, if you're wondering. But so yeah, it's Giacomakis. He's got the potential. He's now just got to stay healthy as well. And I think that's what it is. Is like you worry because he works so hard from the front, and sometimes maybe he runs a little unnecessarily, and maybe we're pontificating, but
blows
maybe
out
that played a
muscle.
part.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, I think that's like, for me, I like his work rate, and I like his ability to be aggressive. And for me, he was like running his tail off basically the entire match. This match in particular, and also the match against the Red Bulls, where he made that very strong tackle. But I think ultimately, you just hope that it's nothing like long term, and that we don't have to hopefully it's not the case where it's nothing long term, and that he can come back when he is ready. And at the same time, I don't think we also should rush him as well if it's a short term injury.
Right. Yeah. Even if our results suffer for the short term, let's think about the line and basically hold them out until maybe it's like one game extra too much.
Yeah,
like
I mean, just look at the
usually...
overabundance of caution they use of Almada. So we'll do the same
exactly.
thing.
I mean, there were definitely some people that were upset about that, but I understood that you don't want to have to risk your star player being injured for like a couple of months. So I mean, it's just one game, so just take it easy.
Yeah, and it's an away game too.
Exactly.
Perfect time to do it.
Game 2, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it is that. It's like we probably expect if he's 90%, he's probably going to start at defense, and then probably get taken off maybe in the second.
Yeah.
Yeah. But hey, Niall, any final thoughts?
Well, decent draw. Unfortunate not to get the 3 points, but I will take the 1 point at least. And yeah, hopefully we can get a win against Chicago. I mean, hey, we're still third in the East, so still have some things to look forward to. Just hopefully, GG. Hopefully we do not wake up on Monday morning being told that GG has an injury for a couple of months.
Yeah.
Yeah,
if I have to see next man up mentality one more time, it's just so PTSD triggering.
Oh man.
Right.
All right, man. Well, it was great talking to you. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully you can come back next time.
I will definitely for sure appreciate it, guys. See you later.
Thanks, man. Take care.
Have a great day, man.
See you.
All right, Niall, doing great. Good to see him, long-time follower, and yeah, I mean, that was some great thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, you know, it's so this type of match, you know, especially on the road, like you take the point, but like there are aspects of yesteryear that are creeping in a little bit too, where, you know, we give up a late lead, we, you know, whatever it is, just got that soft underbelly a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like, you know, Miles Robinson is on the pitch, and yes, he was probably partially at fault for you know, Luria's goal as well. I mean,
that was a nutty goal. I don't think I didn't think like Toronto was particularly that scary or dangerous looking when he was in and about the time scoring that goal. I just thought he just, you know, just took the game by the throat and just did it on his own, one man effort. And I mean, the dude is he's an animal. He's a you know, like he's an athlete. He's an athlete. The guy can move.
Yeah.
So, and he did. So yeah. All right. So now we have
this avatar.
We have our that's the generic one. We have Dennis on here now. Dennis, thanks for joining us. Do you have your mic in?
Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can. Welcome to the stream.
I appreciate it, you guys.
Yeah. So give us the 4-1-1. What did you think of the game?
For me, the game was, and to be completely honest, it was just mishandled. I think that they started off really hot, pressure in the first 2 minutes, goal at minute 3. I mean, they were pressuring up top. They really weren't letting Toronto's defense play comfortably. They weren't letting them leave their half of the field. And then all of a sudden, for 10, 15 minutes after that, it's like they went silent. They didn't attack. They weren't consistent. They weren't concrete. And just all of a sudden, Toronto just started heating up towards the end of the half. Next thing you know, it's minute at the goal at the 42nd minute. So to me, it's like Atlanta starts off very intense. They get the early goal, and then it's lackluster the second part of the first half. And I think it's very concerning, you know, seeing it from the outside. It's a very good team, a very good squad. I know they were missing a few key players, and I know it's it affects their play, it affects their groove and their mentality. But you can't burn yourself out that fast. And I think that was one of the reasons why Toronto was able to expose them a little bit, I guess I could say, and getting those 2 goals because Atlanta was very intense, very passionate, and then they just burned themselves out really quickly. And they were playing kind of catch up to Toronto. And the thing is, Toronto wasn't even dangerous. They weren't even playing really good. They were struggling. They just couldn't find any rhythm, and it just unfortunately it ended up in a tie. It could have been worse, but I think Atlanta should have wrapped this game up. It should have easily been a 3-1 game, um, but it just wasn't in the cards for them.
I
But it
think
was
if
a really good game.
I think if we have Almada, it might be like a 3-1 game. I think it's possible. Also, if Yako doesn't go down, because I mean, to your point, when you say we started to run out of steam, I think you will find that correlates exactly when Yako goes down. We seem to lose steam. Everyone seems to deflate quite a bit. And the other team, opposite, gets supercharged from it. And I think like maybe they were thinking they could afford to press a little bit more, a little bit higher up, take more risks, push more because, they didn't respect Miguel Berry as much as Yako. So
Yeah, and that's very true because you saw the line of four swap and they moved their guys up, and it was just two in the back. So they weren't really worried about Miguel when he got on the field. I guess they didn't think of him as a threat, and so they were pushing up, moving guys up forward. And Atlanta didn't respond well. I think that was like you said that might have deflated them a lot. And I did see Atlanta kind of change their mood once he went down.
yeah,
So yeah, you might have a point there.
yeah.
Yep.
How about
I
the?
think it's also
sorry, go
interesting
ahead.
to note. Sorry, Michael. But yeah, like half of our midfield, or 2/3 of our midfield, hadn't really played full 90, in a while. So Mateo Cisetu coming in, and then Santiago Sosa. I think we've seen them deal with sea legs in the past in previous seasons when Santiago Sosa had played a ton of matches. I think now it's more of the sense that they don't have their legs underneath them because they don't have match fitness, and I think that coincides with that. Like we start off energetically because you come out of the locker room and Pineda's maybe giving you some good vibes, but that those dying embers of matches, in the second half, in the first half as well. I mean, they score late in the first half. It's pretty much that. Like we are not finishing off games very well, and
Yeah, and
this one is a microcosm. Go ahead.
and I was telling Mike during the first half. I was like, they need to cool off the half. They need to get ball control, kind of just hang out, not really press up. And next thing you know, Toronto comes up. The guy just walks through. He walks in there and scores. Right when I was telling him they need to cool down, kind of control the ball, kind of control rhythm of the game. The guy literally walked in there. They didn't even stop him to ask him for a key. Literally, he walked in there. 4 or 5 guys from Atlanta just saw him walk past him, and it was devastating to see that. Because that was a moment that Atlanta had the game under control. That's when they needed to really, really shut the game down and just wait for the half. So the goal came unexpectedly, and Toronto used that. It motivated them.
Yeah.
That's not what Atlanta needed at that time.
Yeah, they definitely
Right.
put the team.
It's-
Lorea put the team on the back with some hero ball, and it worked out.
Right. It's I like that metaphor. I'm gonna even go further with it. It's like going to a frat party that you are not going to, and basically hopping in, grabbing some beers, chilling on their couch, and whatever it is, just having a grand time. Nobody in there.
Making
And-
yourself at home.
Exactly. It's like yeah. We let him right in, and we didn't know. Had no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude.
But anyway, yeah. Well, we asked Niall this as well. Westberg coming in for Guzan. I mean, he's going to be someone that will play a good bit in the coming months. How do you think you do?
As somebody that's played that position before, he was solid on the line. I think he made some really really good saves. He was able to read the ball well. So he did make some really good saves, really good choices on how to clear the ball. The only thing that was a concern for me, as a goalkeeper, you want to keep the defense honest. You want your guys to be lined up where they need to be. I mean, you are the last man. You see the entire field. So you kind of, especially when you're missing players, you want to be the guy that's telling and directing and yelling at guys because it was a tough game. And the last thing you want is for your defenders to be caught off guard and put in those situations where you're one on one, or like Atlanta had two dangerous fouls outside the box. So you don't want that. You want to be able to establish that. So I think for him, he's gonna need to get really comfortable really fast and kind of take charge of that backfield back there. So playing wise, he did well. But as a leader that he needs to be back there, I think he needs a little bit more work. And he has about 6 to 10 weeks or so, roughly, I think, with Brad's
8
injury.
to 10 weeks. Yeah, and that's a really great point. Right, that's a really great point there. I think he's a player though who's you would think that he's used to this pitch and this stadium and these fans when he had just came from Toronto. So at least that probably should not have affected him. And yeah, I guess seemingly he didn't seem like he would. This moment was too big for him. I think he, commanded his box decently, but it's the organization of defense and organization of just showing where everyone needs to be. Maybe that added to where Luria was able to just waltz right in. Yeah, I don't know. Michael, you had a question before I asked that question.
We almost got a St. Louis-esque goal early on. What was that about that pass from the defense to Yako? And Yako was just like, oh my goodness. That for a second, I was like, I felt like a St. Louis fan. I was like, it's happening. We got a gift. Oh my goodness! But unfortunately, nothing came of it. But man, I mean, that was the second one. I don't know in that order, but also with Sean Johnson making an incredibly uncharacteristic mistake of bopping it off of Yako's head right in front of the net, and it almost goes in. That was wild. I've never seen Johnson make such a crazy mistake like that. There's not really a question in there. It's just like, oh my goodness.
Right. Yeah. No, my headphones are going out, so I'm trying to continue this without headphones. Okay, but anyway. But yeah, no. Any more thoughts, Dennis?
No. With Johnson, he played well. Like I said, he made a really weird play.
He usually stands on his head when he plays us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I followed him throughout most of his career, and he's a really good goalie. I mean, he's been in this league really long. I mean, he knows what to do. So I don't know. Maybe it was just that instant, that moment that might have caught him off guard or something. I have no idea.
It's weird. I don't know. Maybe he wasn't ready for a Yako to be barreling down on him. I don't know.
Yeah, or he might not have seen him or something. Well, who knows? I'd have to look at the replay. And then, that missed Chilena that he had. I thought, oh, he's going to go for it, and it just didn't end up in anything. I was so sad. That would have been beautiful. It would have been nice to see.
Yeah. Did you see? What about Gutman's almost goal off of that deflection? Man, that was so close. There was a lot of really close ones in this game.
Atlanta had a lot of missed opportunities.
And if things just went, just kind of fell on our side of the luck spectrum, this game, like you said, could have been like a 3-1.
Really, it could have even been 4. There was another one where it was he crossed it across the goal and it just by inches the curler that went up in the upper 90 he
Yeah,
missed it by
NTN's goal
17.
or almost goal.
Yeah, it was just a lot of missed opportunities. Really, I think Atlanta, if they want to win, and if you're missing players, you have to take advantage of those opportunities. You
Yeah.
cannot miss.
I don't think Etienne has scored yet this for us.
No, he hasn't.
No,
But
and
he's almost scored
so many times.
couple times. Yeah.
It's
He
coming
does
for
have an
him.
assist, I believe. So
It's
there
coming
is
for him.
that. Yeah.
So both of you, what do you think of Pineda's tactical changes throughout the match to make up for Yako and to make up for having a lead and attempting to maintain it? How would you rate his performance as a coach?
Danny.
For me, I think from a 1 to 10, I give him about a 7. I think he did. When Yako went down, I think it was a man for man change, if I remember correctly, and he got the goal. He took the lead in the second half, so I think it worked out for him. Adjustment wise, I didn't really see a lot of adjustments.
We took out
we should've-
Etienne and we got Louis Abram to come in, so we went with more in the back. Took away one of our dangerous attacker wingers, which is perfectly acceptable. It should have worked in my opinion, but that guy just I mean, it was like the guy who scored at the end. He was like a newish kind of player too. It always seems to be like that. It always seems to be like these new, not very experienced like young guns just coming in and being like, oh, I got a wonder goal out of nowhere, whoops, and then they go silent for like a little while, and then you're like, what happened right there? And it's just like, oh well, they were playing Atlanta. That's what happened right there. You get your one against us apparently.
Right, yeah, I mean, Columbus, usually Red Bulls.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great point.
It's frustrating because when a new young kid comes on in the dying parts of a game, I'm like, not again.
Yeah. I mean,
You forget
I have
Insigne.
PTSD.
It's like this 16-year-old I'm afraid of.
oh, yeah, I know, exactly right. Forget the 1-2s that they were playing. It was the.
And the play came out of nowhere. The way the play built itself up, it came out of nowhere. It was just a really good pass, and
It was a great shot too by the kid.
it was a great shot.
Yeah.
The defender didn't see him; he was right in front of him. It was tough to see. As a person that watched soccer, I'm like, oh, it's a goal. It's a goal. I don't even want to watch the screen.
Yeah, I can't pay attention.
I just cannot. I couldn't take it because it was in the dying minutes. So it's like
It was 30 seconds.
94.
Yeah. And they were just pinging around us. Like, it was some one-touch stuff as well. It was just like they were just connecting it so well at that point. It's a bummer. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. To your 1-2 touch, it was crazy because earlier they were playing 1-2, and then Atlanta would steal the ball or they would lose possession. So it was, to me, it just didn't make sense how they just clicked at the end.
It's Insigne coming in. That's the difference, I guess, he makes.
Yeah, they were just connecting a lot easier. And then us, we sat a lot deeper, and I don't think we've really played, attacking football with a 5 at the back yet, or a 3 at the back, however you want to call it, with the wing backs. But and that's the thing, is like we just started sitting deeper and deeper, and I think people miss assignments, especially with later in the match, whether it's fatigue or you just don't know who you're marking at that point when they bring on somebody new. It's like I mentioned earlier. Like, does that give you a little PTSD, Danny, of last year?
Yeah, it does. When you lose players and then you're struggling to make it to the end of the season, it brings you that reminiscence of like, man, we've been through this before and we're going through it again. It's just tough to see. It's a really hard pill to swallow.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it's not as bad as it seems. And we can have some kind of a comeback, personnel and standings wise. So we'll see.
Yeah, and Atlanta's not in a position where they're like in the bottom of the table.
Yeah, they're doing good.
Yeah, they're in a position where, okay, you could take a tie here or there, wait for your guys to come back, and try to do the best you can to salvage the season. They're not in a bad situation, so I'm not too concerned. I'm not too worried. I think this will be a little. They're in a better situation.
Yeah. I mean, we got that. Those wins early on really helped us out, give some cushion. So, like, in terms of points, it really is like the top 5 are kind of really congested. But outside of that, it's just kind of not so hot going on. Chicago's in 8th right now, to give you a little preview for AJ's episode. So we'll see what they can do. What are they at? Let me see. I want to see what they're doing.
I think they were 1-0 the last time I saw.
That was what I was trying to take a look at. Let me see if I can find out. They are still playing in overtime 2-2.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Philly apparently made a comeback.
I thought they were dead in the water.
Yeah.
But I think Atlanta the next game they have a decent opponent. Chicago is middle of the pack kind of team. They're good, but they're not that good. So I think they
have a really good record against them, especially at home.
Mm-hmm.
I think Atlanta has a good opportunity to kind of bounce back, use this game to bounce back, figure out tactically what it is they need to do, what they need to work on. And kind of just build themselves up. I think this is a great game to have after a really tough match in Toronto.
Yeah. It'll be 3 points for the taking, hopefully. And I think the biggest thing for us, obviously you get Almada back, hopefully, most likely. And then the biggest thing for me is to see what you do with Yako's situation. You get, if it's Miguel Berry, then you get him a game against a weak opponent and get him feeling good, get him his first goal. Almada giving him, like a plum to put in, then that would be great. So we'll see if that's for me what I'd be looking out for.
Oh, we got a guest. Here.
Yeah, we got another one. So, all right. So Dennis, thanks for hopping on. Really appreciate it. And maybe we can have you on again next time.
Yeah, well, I will definitely be watching the Chicago Fire game.
All right, yeah.
It's been a pleasure, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, great stuff.
Thank you guys for having me. It was a pleasure talking about the game with you guys. Hopefully next week, if you guys invite me, I'll be on.
Sounds good, man. Appreciate it. Definitely.
Have a good night.
Take care, man.
Thank you.
All right. Next up, as hitting cleanup, we have Patrick coming in.
Look, I don't appreciate that analogy despite the fact that I'm wearing a baseball hat. But yeah, it was a game. It was a game.
It was a game.
That it was a game.
I mean, there were some really, really good connections with our team. I remember it was around, I couldn't tell you the minute, I'll be honest. Second half, there was a cross that I could have sworn, no, it wasn't a cross. It was a shot that looked like it was going upper 90.
Etienne's probably.
It was Etienne, yeah. And it, like, from the angle that it was being covered from, I could have sworn it was nearly upper 90, but then they showed the reverse angle and it was like a meter wide, which is fun, I guess, but I really was, I wouldn't say I was underwhelmed or overwhelmed. Like, I think we performed the way we did. I was really glad with our keeper. I mean, those are big shoes to fill. Guzan being out for as long as he's going to be. Like, I mean, to keep it even at the least is a thing. But I hated that we gave up that goal in the 93rd minute and 44 seconds. That killed me because the whole game, I was looking at this match, and it seemed like we were kind of driving a little. I mean, there was a bit of give and take between us and Toronto. And, I think, I'm not an analyst, and I'll be honest, of this game, I probably caught in a real perspective close to like 50 minutes. I'll be honest, guys. I mean, I'm trying, but there are like 12 other games on, and there's people all over the place, and it's exhausting. But yeah, and I'm playing hurt. Look, you want to see this? That's a torn ligament. Okay, we're trying out here. We're trying real hard. But no, it was a great game. We got the point out of it. I would have preferred the 3. I hate that we lost it right at the end. I don't know if there were blown coverages. It just felt like the rest of the team kind of felt like I did, where it was like, we're getting into the 92nd minute. It's a foregone conclusion. We've got this, and it just sort of fell apart. So,
yeah, I mean, Sosa made that like interesting slide challenge that I think was trying to cut off a passing lane, but the guy decided to shoot instead, and it just kind of seemed like you could have maybe have gone to the guy instead of tried to cut off a passing lane. But I mean, then again, who knows? If he made that run to him instead, he could have made the pass then, and someone else maybe have been open and scored it anyway. So
yeah, and I don't want for every time I appear on this channel to be a diatribe or a tirade or a rant. I just usually, because all of these games happen on this day, these are the only days that other people can engage with me, so it's weird. The Cubs are on right now, and we're losing, which is not awesome. But I want to be able to kind of recap this stuff with y'all, and I really am. I'm excited about the direction the team is going. I'm glad we're back at full-ish strength.
Not anymore, but yeah.
But and that is a huge loss. Gosh, I mean, he is just such a presence on the field, like in between the pipes and everything. But I think his leadership, it just kind of exudes to our back line, and when he's on the pitch, people are like, okay, we've got a better shot at this. And this is conjecture. Let's be real. It's conjecture. This is in between my ears, but I really do feel like we missed his presence on the pitch tonight.
Yeah, I mean, and you saw it. So if you imagine with Yako going down and Brad not being there, if you imagine those are our 2 tent poles, kind of things fall apart a little bit in the middle. And we saw that tonight a bit. So
yeah. But all in all, I liked our athleticism. I liked, I feel like we could have been a bit better with our passing consistency. But looking back at like the stats, it was like dead even. I mean, it was kind of laughable how equivalent the stats as far as.
Well, then we played them well then.
Yeah. I mean, we played them pretty even. There was one stat that I wish, guys, I'll be honest, I wish I was more prepared for this, but there is one stat, and you can go back and look at this. At the end of the broadcast, we basically look even with Toronto, but there's one stat where we are at like 84% and they're at like 32%, and it's a negative stat. I can't remember what it is, but it's a bummer. And I don't know if it's passing completion or specifically what it was, but I remember watching the broadcast and just looking at it, and we're dead even with them throughout the whole thing. And I mean, the final, the score kind of speaks to that, but it's something that I think we should have won, honestly. Like, and it sucks to give it up in extra time, no less. Like,
yeah, it's a heartache,
but
for sure. So the stats for tonight, if anyone's curious, we had 11 shots, or they had 11 shots, we had 10. They had 4 shots on target, we had 5. They had 53% possession. They had 457 passes, we had 416. They had 84% pass accuracy, we had 85. We had 11 fouls, they had 4. Both had yellows.
Foul.
Yeah. We had 11 fouls. They had 4. Like, we really, I guess, butchered them according to these stats.
Yeah, and some of those, like, I think there was one, it was maybe in, like, the 38th minute or something, near the end of the first half, that I felt like we went for the ball. And we got it was a free kick, so it wasn't a card or anything, so it didn't really matter. But still, I don't know that it should have. I don't know that you can look at the stat sheet and really glean.
It doesn't always tell the whole
of
story.
this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it usually doesn't. That's the thing. It's like, I think if you ask most people, sans the last few minutes of this match, who should have won this match? I think who had the better run of play, who had the largely better chances. We did. And
do you know the XG? I couldn't find that.
I'll go check. Maybe Opta or who scored, maybe. But yeah, either way. Yeah, it's, and that can tell a story as well. But I think they didn't look like they had control until Insigne, when he came on, and when Bernardeschi, he pretty much was running the game, and we sat back a little further. That's probably when the tide started to shift a little bit, and I think you saw them connect a lot better in terms of their passing, and we've got that soft underbelly when we don't have everyone healthy, and I think you see it again. It happens time and time again, and hopefully we can just stave that off with better depth in the future, but also I guess it's in this period, just hopefully that most of the players are not reverting and regressing without the star players. So it's a great pondering that you bring up, Bill, because
that's Pat, not Bill. Bill's not here today.
Oh, Pat. Oh, Pat. Sorry, man.
You can call me Susan if it makes you happy.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, Susan. But yeah, man. Sorry about that. But
I'm definitely not going to cry about it later.
Yeah. Cool. But yeah, Pat. It's definitely like I think even if you only saw 50 minutes, I think you would have seen that. Yeah, like the play was better from us, and but in terms of this, like, in your opinion though, Giakoumakis going down, of what you saw of Miguel Berry, can he do enough if he's out for any period of time?
I think if he's given the chance and given the opportunity, he definitely can rise to the occasion. It was exciting kind of watching the first half, us leading into kind of near the end of that. And again, I'm a 50-minute guy. I didn't catch the whole thing. I was fighting with Cavaliers games and Braves games and friends, and finding out what will work.
You were fighting with friends?
Not necessarily, just figuring out how a first-generation Amazon Fire Stick will work with a display that hasn't been plugged in for 8 years. That sort of stuff. It's been a weird night. But despite that, I'm excited about the energy that our team has. It's a little too early to tell, because I feel like they've been tested, but I don't know that the right groups of people have been partnered together to kind of get the job done. We're walking away with a 1 point. It's not 3, but it's not nothing. And for long-term listeners, I remembered the metaphor. They don't ask how, they ask how many. So I'm not certain if that's really relevant or pertinent, but that's the metaphor. And, if you want to learn more about it, just Google it. I wasn't sure if it was pertinent when I said it in the first place, but that's what it is.
Well, you sure to think it's pertinent, that's for sure.
Well, I just wanted to clarify because the last time I was on here, it was pretty sloppy. I'll be real.
I don't know, man. I really enjoyed the legs agape thing. That was.
It's classic.
I kind of forgot about the legs agape thing, but thank you for reminding me about
We
it.
did not.
Oh, by the way, the XG was 0.6 for us. Toronto was 0.5. Believe it or not.
It was such a close, like looking at the stats. It's the only stat that we had astronomically more than Toronto was fouls. And I would really say that at least 3 or 4 of those 11 probably shouldn't have been called, because I know for at least one of them, which is 25% of the 4 that I'm talking about, he was going for the ball, and it shouldn't have been a call. I'm gonna mute myself for a second. I've got to call my dog.
All right.
Someone's backing out of my car.
All right. Listen, Patrick, you take care of all that. All right.
All right. Thanks, guys. I really do enjoy this. This
All right.
is
Thank you,
always
man.
a blast.
We'll talk
Thanks
to
for
you
having me
next
on.
time, hopefully.
All right.
Have a great night, Patrick.
Fewer injuries then. Love
Yeah.
you guys. Bye.
See ya.
See you. Yeah. On the fouls, 11-4. I think a lot more were tactical fouls. I mean, there were some that were on the midfield line and all that, and those are smart fouls.
Yeah.
You break up play, you prevent them from gaining momentum. I think we were doing that well earlier on. Yeah. Later on in the match, those sea legs came into play, and we definitely just let them. Yeah, we're just not, like I mentioned earlier, we're not finishing off halves well. And it's a microcosm in this match, but. Do we have some stuff in the chat?
Yeah, so that's it for our guest for tonight. So we are going to read some stuff off of the chat. Let's see. Yep, Fern Solo says last minute goal is not cool. Andrew Watkins says I'll take a draw any day. We could have been we could have been first in the East, and the Braves won tonight at the Royals. So yeah. Eddie Ruiz says I was expecting to tie, but the way we tied at the end was the worst. That's actually well put. I agree with that completely, the way you described it.
Yeah.
Pretty Idiot says thanks for stopping by again, Pretty Idiot. You're always there. Anyone else think the pitch might have been a bit too slippery tonight? Well, I assume you're referencing when Scholl slipped at that one point.
Yeah, it actually looked dry. Like, it actually did not look like you could really ping it around. So, I don't know. I mean, that's...
Who knows? Yeah. I mean, Scholl did slip at a pretty unfortunate time.
Yeah. I don't think it was because it was wet. I think it was just because,
faulty footing, maybe.
Yeah, because the ball was hit a little too much weight on it by Gutman.
Yeah.
But, and so, yeah, it's like... Maybe Chol was in two minds of like what he could do with it, and he's not a left footer, so it's understandable in that sense.
Mike Rooney has complimented our music choice. Thank you very much, appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
He also says Luis has not lived up to his tag. I assume you mean DP, but I can't wait for him to live up to it. So yeah, I mean he's again one of those electric players that when he gets on fire. He's got swagger. Like, he feels it. And we desperately need that. That is infectious. It lights up the entire team when a player starts going. Like, Yakko started cooking tonight. And I was like, oh, man. Like, you could feel it. Like, you saw him exuding confidence. He's like, I'm going to get another one. It's going to happen. And you were like, everyone, the defenders were afraid of him. People were respecting him. It felt good having... such a strong tip of the spear on this team. So, And I hope
Yeah.
Luis can do that too. And come back to that, at least like on the sides or on the wing. He needs to really be able to provide that for us. It just has to happen with a DP.
Right. And, it's a player that's not a DP, but there are some expectations of him. I saw some stuff on the internet about his performance. Derek Etienne Jr. I'm curious your thoughts on his performance tonight.
I thought he was pretty good tonight. What I noticed particularly tonight was a lot of long balls to him, a lot of leading passes. And it was the expectation was for him to get around his defender, which a lot of times was Larea, which in the MLS is a tough task. And somehow he was able to do it more often than, well, maybe like around 50% or so, but which is still a really good percentage because any one of those could turn into an attacking goal scoring opportunity. So I was extremely impressed by his speed, his ability to not get caught on offside traps, and he was able to just turn on the gas and go. And we had some opportunities created because of that. Unfortunately, nothing really came of them. Well, not that I don't think he has an assist. But anyway, he, because those were like a corner and, those are all like headers off set pieces.
Lennon and Ruju with the
right.
assists, but yeah.
So he didn't get any assists, but he was there. He opened up the game. He made it so the defense has to be constantly on their guard. You have to, and it takes a player like Larea to stop him. Which, if that's the case, you're kind of taking him out of the equation then for the rest of the field, which is good because you can't let that man operate because he's just gonna go. That guy is a gazelle. He's incredibly fast and athletic. So. And at the end, we could respond. He is incredibly fast and athletic, too, it shows. So, I was really happy about that. He didn't have the end product. I don't necessarily fault him for that. But, he took his chances. He had one, the curler we were talking about earlier. Mm-hmm. That could have gone in at any time. I feel like a goal for him is coming. I don't think you can keep this man off the score sheet forever. I think he's eventually going to get it in. And so I'm just going to be... I think, you know what? Screw it. Calling it now. Next week, he's going to score.
Okay. Yeah, because I was seeing some hate on Twitter saying he was slow, maybe indecisive.
He's running against Larea.
Exactly.
What do you mean he's so... Yeah, he's getting caught by one of the fastest players in the league, sure.
Yeah, people are seeing the context, I think, and watching maybe only one game, or at least maybe assessing from one performance. And yeah, it's incredibly unfair, I would say. Okay, is he gonna hit 9 goals and 6 assists this season? We'll see, but we know that kind of player is within him. So, I think we're playing to his strengths. I think that's way better than maybe what we were trying to do with other players in the past, where we don't play to their strengths and, save Joseph Martinez when we were trying to launch balls to his head when he's 5'7", and, battling against 6-foot plus defenders in the box. It's, balls over the top for Etienne to run onto. Yeah, it's not every single time he's going to beat his man, but if he can beat his man more than not, then he can create some chances. And
it's a good threat to have in your arsenal. Someone speedy like that who stretches the back line. They always got to be on their toes for those long balls. Yako's not going to really make that run. He's not that fast. Defenders will catch him. Etienne can go on a break. Arujo can go on a break too because he's not the fastest, but if you're not careful, he can dribble you and he'll get by you. So they have to watch him and they have to watch Etienne, and those are good pieces to have on each side. So I appreciate what they're trying to do there with those players. So I think they can be dangerous, and hopefully if you get the whole crew on the field at the same damn time, it'll start to really look good. It'll look dangerous.
We saw what happened when we did, and so hopefully we could just get more of that than not. because it's brutal. All right, let's see what's more in the chat. And
sure, let's finish out the chat. There's a couple more questions or comments there, and then we can get on to the video. Let's see, Luis needs to be more consistent. Literally tonight I saw him make horrible passes to nowhere, and then 2 seconds later he made an amazing pass. I don't know if it's a confidence thing or what. I think he has a confidence. But he's an ego player, I think. So I think you'll see if he catches fire, has a string of good games and good performances, he will just be better. So, that's my take on that.
Yeah, I mean, Araujo, I think you nailed it on the head. I mean, it's just he's a player that's he's streaky. You know, he's
exactly. Yep.
You know, he once he gets a full head of steam, sometimes too, though, it's like, yeah, you gotta he's a player that doesn't pick his head up all the time, and so it's like the worst parts of Tito Fischelba, you know, like, but that's what we're hoping a little bit more, though, is in product like Tito Fischelba, and yeah, that's where. I think those two players are pretty similar, to the degree that they're pacey, they can stretch defenses, they can run in behinds, and they can beat a man on the dribble. But it's he's a player that divides opinion.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's see. To be a Brian K says, to be a possession team, there sure was a struggle to keep the ball in the last minute. Probably moving the ball into our half once more earns 3 points. That pass out of bounds was the opportunity Toronto needed. Yeah, it's true. That was a bad pass out of bounds. Seemed like an unforced error a bit. But, I mean, you give credit to Toronto. I mean, they were the ones putting the pressure on that forced us to make silly errors to put them in the right position to try and get an opportunity. So, I mean, it's a game where you're playing against another team. It's not just like golf where you're playing against, just trying to do the best you can. You have to do it against adversity. So, it's we are a possession-based team. We could say we, ideally take the ball into our own half and try and hold it there. Or, I mean, the converse to that, I think, and we tried to do it once with Sosa, which Sosa kind of made a goof when he tried to run to their corner and then kind of just tick off time, and he kind of just gave it up, and then they went on a huge break after that. So, but I mean, that's the idea, though. Get in the corner, hit it off a guy, get a corner off of it, waste more time. But unfortunately, he just had a goof. So, things are won and lost in little moments like that.
Right, and maybe he's not that guy. Like, maybe Sosa is not the guy that should have been going to the corner. Maybe it should have been Miguel Berry. Maybe it should have been Juanjo Porrata. Somebody else that can withstand, that physicality that it'll take to, keep that ball in that corner and as far away from our goal as possible. And
speaking of Sosa. I mean, we almost saw 2 bikes today. Yako almost tried a bike when it went over him too high. And Santi just tried some kind of side bike too, which I was like, what is happening?
Yeah. And that's the thing, it's like, Sosa, I was saying on Twitter, he's more that deep-lying playmaker, and it is, he's not afraid to get in the box either. And so, he brings a different type of midfield play than Ibarra, and it's still secure in that sense.
Right.
But it is, it's like, we've seen them play together before too, Ibarra and Sosa. Unfortunately, it was our worst year ever, but I don't think it was because of them.
I agree.
Of course, they were still growing, but still, it's Sosa has that ability to pop up in some good places, and so I think arguably, I think if you look at our midfield players, right, and who you think has the most promise and all that can affect the game as much as anybody else, I think you look at Sosa over Sadic and Hosetu, because Sadic and Hosetu, they both had decent matches, I think, in this match, where they were able to be creative at times and really be pretty hardworking. But I think ultimately you see in the final third they're lacking a bit.
Yeah.
That they don't pop up in the right places to maybe the degree that Sosa can, and definitely Sosa as well. We've seen him put away some balls in the box in the back of the net.
I think Sadic has been. I think the message from Pineda has been
really. Yeah.
Sorry.
Sadic has been really close though.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think Sadic and Mateus have gotten word from Pineda to try and be more aggressive and more attacking, more direct. Because I think we've seen it a little bit more this year than previous years. So hopefully, maybe, regardless of whoever's in, we see more of that. Because I think that sparks energy. I mean, seeing Sosa try and go for a bike had me going, okay, we're still in this. Like, they believe.
It's that too. I think Sosa arrives in those third man run positions a lot better than say Sadic and Hosetu. It's really important because especially there's my Premier League team does this really, really well, where Arsenal they are making a really strong onus on balls that are pulled back from the byline, and then those are usually finished off by a third man run, and so that's how you stretch a defense. That's how you really pull guys off of where they're supposed to be space wise, and that's how you can cause confusion. And yeah, I mean, we just need more dynamism within our attack when we don't have Almada pulling strings. We need more positional play where guys just know where to be. Like that's where we can get elite, is where no matter who's playing, they have the technical ability and also are coached well enough to be in the right places, that it's not about ultimately like the like in the league, it's not like Champions League play where it's the moments of magic like we were talking about earlier. It is more
systems.
System, guys knowing where they need to be able to be successful, and whether that's defensively or attack wise. So yeah, that's a really long-winded answer to that question.
Yeah,
but
it was a good one though.
Yeah.
So let's finish these off. Lorea is such a pest, Niall says. Yeah, he is. And he's the reason he's on the Canadian national team. Lorea is always getting into it with somebody, regardless of the team. There seems to be a common denominator. Uzumaki says, I mean, this is a little bit, on a different thing, but like, Insigne pushing Kayla Wiley was wild to me. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, this kid's like so mild mannered. Like, come on.
I don't know, man. It's just like you're like a world class player, and you just come to push this little Georgian over. Like that's like, what are you doing? I don't know. I thought that was a bad look from him. Looked real bad. But,
well, to be fair, he's a little Italian versus a like Caleb Wiley, not like super tall, but yeah, definitely towers over Insigne. So yeah. He's about like 5'10". I mean, it's like, yeah, as far as football or soccer goes, it's like pretty tall.
Yeah, it's above average, I'd say.
Yeah.
And last comment is from Matt Haney. Thanks for stopping by. Agree, it would have been nice if we'd held the ball more at the end instead of defending so much. The times they got forward, like that example of Sosa, no one joined in the offensive half. I mean, at that point, it's like I think people are gassed. It's tough to make that run. You'd hope to see like maybe Chol or, someone make that run if Chol was in at that time. I think he was, because he's fresh legs. But it is what it is. Sometimes you just don't have it in you, or sometimes you just caught too far behind. You don't, because like honestly, when Sosa got that ball and started moving it, he didn't even expect to get it. That was a turnover that was unexpected, and he just bolted and thought, you know what, best thing I can do with this, because I know I'm alone in the attacking third. I'm just gonna drive it into the corner and hope I waste time, which is what you should do. So, you know.
Yeah, that's a great shout as well. Yeah, Chol probably should have been that other guy to to bring it to the corner.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's a tough guy to get the ball.
Because he'll stick up. Those lanky legs, he'd be tough to push over. So
exactly.
All right, so that's what. If you have any more questions, we're gonna go over this video real quick. If you have any more questions, put it in the chat. We'll read them after the video, and at the end of the video, like we do every week, we will spin the wheel, which we haven't named yet. So if anyone has any names for it, let us know. This week,
I'm leaning towards Wheel of Forfeit, but you guys tell me.
Yeah,
let us know
whatever. Yeah, honestly, it could be up to you guys. Well, you know, why not? So the things on the wheel this year or this week are special talent. That's where one of us does some kind of special talent that we have, and we video record it, put it on the stream. One is wear a rival's kit. So for AJ, it'll be who will it be for you?
Oh, jeez, Spurs. I don't know how that's gonna happen. I am definitely not spending any money on Spurs.
Another is soccer skills challenge. So that's like us recording us doing some kind of soccer skill challenge, attempting to accomplish it. One is drinking a type of liquor that has to do with one of the teams we're playing against. Preferably, I think that was Mark's idea. And also, I put this one on here. I made an executive decision. We're doing the red ass game for our fifth and final option this week. So if you don't know what the red ass game is, it's where actually AJ, you can explain it better than me because you explained it to me last week.
Yes. So red ass, basically, it's a forfeit in that sense, where basically you have to bend over in front of goal and essentially take a ball kicked as hard as possible from somebody into your ass. And so if they miss, they miss. But if they hit you, yeah, it might hurt. So that will be that.
It's kind of like a hazing thing, so that'll be fun, and I'm sure it'll be me as usual. So, all right, so that's that. Next, so we're gonna do the. So last time when I spun the wheel, I lost again, and I'd had to eat something that I didn't like, and the thing I didn't like, which is not very many things. I like most things, but licorice, like real licorice, is something I just don't like. So that's what I ended up doing. Let me see if I can boot it up. So give me a second, AJ, while I do this.
All good, all good. I had a little preview of it, and I mean, I commend you. I commend you for eating the whole thing. But I think the commentary was priceless as well. So.
All right, let me put this right here. And all right.
Okay.
There we go. All right. Here I am doing the licorice that I said I would do for the episode. And to remind everyone, I'm not a big fan of licorice. And this is some Danish authentic licorice from Europe. So this is what it looks like. My wife loves this stuff. You can see the Danish there. Authentic, real licorice. Comes in these sticks. I'm gonna eat this, and I'm not gonna like it because I do not like licorice. So they always say it's like, well, the Danes like sweet and savory things, not just sweet like Americans do. So this is their savory, and I don't think it's very savory. I can see why they like it, but maybe it's like cilantro, like you're born with it or you don't have it or whatever. An enzyme that makes you tolerate it, but the smell, it's so strong. Like, it's just gonna, I have to like rinse my mouth out because it's just gonna stick with you. It's just so strong. It's such a strong. I'd like maybe consider it if it was like 1/10 the point, the potency. All right, I knew I didn't like licorice, but I haven't had it in many years, and I feel like I've underestimated how much I dislike it. Oh, I mean, I don't dislike too many things. I can probably like list everything I dislike on one hand. No, licorice is one of them. Well, here's to hopefully not having the wheel land on me next time, because I'm kind of sick of these. Time for someone else to do it. Alright. See you later. Alright. So that's something that I had to do. Which is wonderful.
Licorice. Yeah. I mean, are you a fan of what's? I think we talked about this maybe, but the drink, the licorice drink.
Oh yes, Sambuca.
No. Dang it. Anyway, yeah. There's an alcoholic licorice drink that, or maybe that's a misnomer. Either way, well. Oh well, we'll move on.
Alright, so let me put this here so we can do the wheel of forfeit. Who's the one who gets picked this time? And boy, if it's me again, Jesus Christ! All right, here we go. It's not gonna be me. Yes, it's Mark.
It's Mark.
It's
he's
Mark.
not even here.
Oh, good. We get to.
Okay.
If you're in Discord, everyone ping him. Everyone ping him and tell him it's him. And then we're gonna see what he gets to do now. He gets to. He gets to do a special talent. Who knows what that is? I don't.
Ooh, I don't know either. Yeah, so okay. Mark with the special talent. I'm actually intrigued.
Interesting.
I'm so curious. So, all right.
Yeah, so stay tuned for that, whenever that is.
Okay.
Maybe he plays the bassoon. Who knows?
Oh, wow. You know what? I think I might know. No, I don't know. It's whether he's going to do it or not. Apparently, he used to do some track. And I don't know how much of the field he used to do, but he used to do some track. So
maybe he'll do a hurdle or two. Who knows?
Yeah, right. Like, that will be interesting. I think that's what he was talking about, a hurdle.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
or did you used to do hurdles?
I tried hurdles like a couple of times, and I wasn't a huge fan of them. I was more of a 100 meter, 200 meter, 400 meter, and then when I was feeling lazy, I did pole vaulting because it would get me out of sprinting training.
Okay. I mean, hey, I don't know where the hell he's gonna, if he's doing hurdles, how he's gonna do hurdles, but that's the fun of it. So we will find out. Hopefully, he does not eat shit and messes up his face or something, or all that. But that would be a very, very bad part of this forfeit. Hospital bills. So we will avoid those. But all right. Well, yeah, Mark with the special skill. Let him know in Discord. Man, I'm excited. That's wow. Okay.
All right. So I guess that's it for us tonight. Do you want to sign us off?
Indeed. So for Michael, for everybody else, I've been AJ. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, share, comment, subscribe. We love you all. We will see you in the next video. Good night.
Adios.